Hello there. Thanks for joining me for another edition of your Story Sports Business Show, Sport Exchange. Judy Olano is my name, and today we will be looking at, we continue in the series that we've started. Of course, we've been engaging those who have decided to throw their heart into the ring as far as the Nigerian Football Federation election is concerned. We have one of the aspirants on standby today. We'll be engaging him on, of course, what he has to offer. Yeah. And that's some of the things we'll be looking at. And we will. I'm also going to set the ball rolling with, the conflict that the Nigerian football is experiencing now. It's just as usual. What the things are falling apart, and it appears that the center can no longer hold. But we hope that things will return to normal very soon so that we can enjoy our football again. Anyway, thanks once again, and it's time to set the ball rolling. We're going to break, and when I return, it will be time to serve you the best of sports business.
Fantastically finished.
Welcome back. A few days ago, the league management company, LMC, was declared illegal by the Ministry of Sports and Youth Development, which means it is not recognized by the federal government. According to a statement issued by the ministry's permanent secretary, Ismaila Abubakar, the ministry requested that the NFF, that's the Nigerian Football Federation, immediately withdraw the license granted to the LMC and establish an interim management committee to oversee the league's affairs going forward. LMC is the organization and promotion body for the Nigerian Professional Football League. According to the ministry, the LMC status is, I quote, outside the purview of the NFF statutes. And in view of the several unpleasant incidents regarding the management of the Football League, specifically the declaration of the Nigerian Football League as an illegal body by the court, Abubakar stated this, end of quote. The permanent secretary says the decision became necessary because the obvious aberration for a private company to manage or run the league indefinitely without the full involvement of the leadership by the clubs and devoid of any process to monitor the progress and development of the game. All right. Meanwhile, the board of the league management company, LMC, says its attention has been drawn to a media release from the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development to the effect that the federal government has declared the LMC illegal, urging stakeholders to remain calm while it engages the ministry in conjunction with the Nigerian Football Federation. The LMC board also expressed distress at seeing the ministry come up with the public statement position without first engaging the LMC and NFF to discuss any concerns or information regarding the LMC, so as to hear from the other side and enable it to be a balanced position. Tracking the formation and registration of the company, it noted that for the avoidance of doubt, LMC Limited was duly and properly formed in 2013 with all due processes adhered with both football laws, regulations, and Nigeria's corporate affairs laws. Subsequently, the NFF Executive Committees at its meeting of the 8th October 2014 in Abuja and the NFF Congress, the Supreme Legislative Body of the NFF at its meeting of the 23rd November 2014 in Lagos, duly approved the LMC supplementary regulations governing structure pursuant to the powers vested on the Congress under the NFF statutes. Article 18 and Article 78, subsection 2 and 3, as well as FIFA Statutes Articles 17 and 18, to delegate the right to an independent subordinate body to manage, organize its competition. And MPFL Inclusive LMC Limited is a private body, stating that the LMC Limited is not a private body as it has been misrepresented, but a not-for-profit company duly formed by the NFF and the participating NPFL clubs in accordance with the powers as enshrined in the extant NFF statutes. Okay, that's it. Like I said, things are falling apart. How will the center be able to hold it? Anyway, that's one of the questions I will be asking my guest today, who is joining me via Zoom. Yes, he is one of, I tagged him as one of the fresh air, touch of fresh air, yeah. A breath of fresh air, rather. That a touch of fresh air that is coming to the fore as far as this election is concerned. Ayodeji Adegbenro joins me on the show today. Ayodeji, thanks for joining me. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks for having me on the show.
We will be looking at your aspiration as well as other things as far as Nigerian football is concerned. I've tagged you, and just like other persons that I've seen thrown their heart into the ring as one of the touch of fresh air. You have a massive CV, I must say, from journalism to football administration. I remember you as a broadcaster. Then you went into football management with the City of David, and also the Ondo State Football Agency as the director of marketing or assistant director of marketing. And right now you are the coordinator, communications and project coordinator of the La Liga, Nigeria and Ghana. Massive CV, I must confess. A doctoral candidate also. Wow. I'm intimidated, no doubt. But
no Deji, need to be intimidated, my brother.
Oh, Deji, why did you decide to take up the gauntlet at this time?
Well, I believe I have what it takes to help the development of Nigerian football. I believe that the changes we want to see, we can't see them. We can't affect those changes from outside. You have to be inside the system to be able to make those changes. So this is why I've decided to get onto the board of the Nigerian Football Federation, so I can contribute in my own way towards the development of football in Nigeria.
Of course, if I'm right, you're, if not the youngest aspirant in this race, if I'm right, and
probably one of the youngest, probably. What?
I said, aren't you intimidated by the fact that you are against the establishment, sort of?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, we're talking football here. We are trying to get into the apex body that administers football in Nigeria. Football itself is competition, so I'm not at all intimidated about the caliber of people I'll be running against. I mean, due respect to them. They've been there, done that. But I just think it's time for a new direction, a new way of doing things.
Okay. Do you, of course, if you read if you followed my intro through some of the news that I read, there is a conflict already between the federal government, that's the Ministry of Sports, and the league management company, and even the NFF start to whether to expand or to amend or not to amend. Do you believe this election we hold is just in 2 weeks' time? Are you really convinced?
As at this moment, the election will hold. I don't know what could come up in the next few days or weeks. I mean, I haven't followed Nigerian football long enough. I know that every election season, talking about Nigerian football election, is always very dramatic. So a lot could happen between now and then. But I'm prepared for whatever eventuality. Election holds, election doesn't hold. We're prepared for that.
Deji, one of the things that I don't know, what are the things you want to bring to the system that is different? Because you want to be a part of the board, a board that most Nigerians, I want to believe, I stand to be corrected, have issues with the way football is run. So what are those things you feel you can bring as a one-man army, if you agree?
Well, the board consists of 16 people, 12 elected, 4 other appointed. Then again, football is a team sport. There is no high football, So I'll have to work with the other members of board to push to push through whatever policies I may want to see implemented and adopted by the federation. For me, what I would love to see done is more attention paid to the base of the pyramid of a football, grassroots football, age grade football, our leagues. This is the spine. This is the spine of our football. We need to pay more attention to it. Coaching, education. We want our state FAs to be more vibrant. We want state leagues. We want local leagues. So these are the issues I'll be pushing on board if I do get elected.
Of course, you will be coming from the southwest.
Southwest, yes.
And I look at some of those guys that you are up against, and I don't know whether you are trying to engage your people from the southwest, and if you are doing that, how is it going?
Yeah, I've engaged with both the congressmen and the delegates from the Southwest and beyond, outside of the Southwest as well. And I must say that the feedback is quite encouraging.
It's quite encouraging.
We can only hope that that translates into votes on election day.
On the election. Okay.
Yeah.
There are a lot of issues about, because I've also spoken to some people, some other aspirants, especially those who have played the game, who feel that the game should be left to them. As a technocrat yourself, do you quite agree with some of this postulation that the game should be left only for footballers?
I disagree. And
why?
Footballers don't necessarily make the best administrators or the best coaches. We've seen that. We've seen some ex-footballers being state FA chairman. And I mean, what have they really done anyway? So I'm not of the opinion. Footballers are not the only components of football. You have coaches, you have referees, you have administrators, you have so many people who work together to project this beautiful game that we all love. So I'm not of the opinion that, if we do that, we are back to where we are right now, where we are saying that we need to expand the Congress because some set of people feel excluded. So if we are saying we should leave it to just the footballers, then what happened to the other people who are also part of the football ecosystem?
Fantastic. All right. Deji, let's also look at this. The NFF, as it is right now, it's not recognized by the law of the land, and you are also going into the board. What are those things that you also, let's imagine you get on that board. Aren't you worried that the bill that ought to have fast-tracked the passing of the Nigerian Football Federation into a law of Nigeria, it's taking so long? Aren't you really worried?
To be honest, I'm actually worried. The last assembly got the bill to the table of the president in 2019, and he didn't assent to it, and it has been sent back to the National Assembly. With this current assembly, they are supposed to leave next year.
Yeah.
If they will be able to do that in time. So I hope that when we get on board, we can liaise with the Sports Ministry, which is the supervising ministry of the NFF, to lobby the National Assembly. Whatever reason why the president refused assent, those reasons should be addressed. And of course, if possible, present this bill again to the National Assembly and see if it can be, if the passing of that bill can be expedited, and of course the president gives assent, and the NFF can be a standalone organization recognized by the government of Nigeria and the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I know that right now the current NFF still operates under the NFA Act, the one that is recognized by the Nigerian law. So I think over the years, government has found a way to still relate with the NFF under a subsisting law. we need to go back to, this is actually the foundation of some of the crises we've had over the years. That law needs to get through the National Assembly, passed and assented by the President of the Federal Republic.
Just before I came into the studio now, I just saw news about the fact that the Ondo State government is trying to offer Sunshine FC for sale. I know at some point you also you were part of the Ondo State Football Agency that managed Sunshine Stars.
Yes.
Do you think this is possible, or have you heard about that story? Have you heard about it? What do you think about that?
I've heard the story, but then again, it's just in the news. There is nothing official from the Ondo State government yet. So as right now, you treat it as probably just a rumor, BSC. Having said that, while I was at Ondo State Football Agency, I actually saw this coming. You know, with government revenue reducing, and of course, when you as a governor, you have to pay salaries, pay pensions, you have to actually carry out some projects, you know, to cement your legacy. Allocating millions of naira every month to the state-owned club might not be high on your scale of preference. It might not be top priority for you. And we know the way it works in Nigeria. If the governor releases money to the club does well. If the governor doesn't release money to the club will struggle. So maybe the Ondo State governor has looked at these finances and they think they can no longer fund the club, and the best thing will be to offer it for sale. At the end of the day, we need to, there's too much government involvement in football in Nigeria, which is another part of the problem. We need less of government involvement. And they just concluded NPFL season. Of the 20 teams in the top division, only 2 are privately owned. Remo Stars and the relegated MFMFC. So we need more private clubs in Nigeria. So at the end of the day, it might be a blessing if this guy, the government decide to sell off Sunshine Stars, of course, to very capable people who can continue to run the club in a profitable and sustainable manner, and of course, keep the legacy afloat.
Who knows? There might be a bandwagon effect after that if Sunshine is able to pull that through.
If you look back in the past, most of the clubs in Nigeria used to be privately owned, either owned by corporate organizations or very wealthy individuals. I mean, Unwaya National, Abiola Babes, and all of those clubs, New Nigerian Bank, Leventis United, they used to be owned by corporate. It was only, I think, late 80s or early 90s that government really got into football. So taking government out of owning football clubs is probably the right step in the right direction.
Let me pick your brain. That's good. I'm going to take it up from there. Let me pick your brain. Also, when you were there, you did a bit of marketing with, of course, you did with the club, and it was at some point yielding until the usual interference came in and all that. You also the communication and project coordinator for La Liga, and I know that La Liga has a partnership with the LMC, where you have the future this future project about youth teams and all that, and you guys are with that project attracting, you are beginning to attract corporate attention, the bodies, through that. Is it because it is La Liga that is involved? Because why is it that some of these people struggle to get the corporate attention, and a body like La Liga is, particularly getting, some of these things to bankroll or support some of these projects? What's the difference? What are you doing better
I think when you talk about the partnership between La Liga and the NPFL, the most important part of that partnership for me is youth development. And of course, that led to the creation of the NPFL La Liga Under 15 Youth League that has held annually from 2017. Now, a good product will always sell itself. You cannot sell a bad product. That Under 15 League is good. We've done it over the years. As at the last time I checked, over 1,000 boys have passed through that tournament. Most of them have gone on to play for top teams in the country and outside of the country. They've played for the national teams. We saw Akin Kumi and Mao, who played for Shooting Stars in the first edition, get called up to the Super Eagles for the World Cup playoffs against Ghana. Even though he was on the bench, he didn't make the pitch in both games. But that is a win for us, before we have that tournament, like 2-3 months before the tournament, we have a coaching seminar for the coaches who will coach the kids in that tournament, And between 2017 and now, we've trained over 600 coaches as well. So when you have that kind of product, it's easy to sell it. People want to be part of the success story, which is why at this year's edition that was won by Remo Stars, we had 2 big corporate organizations coming to be part of it. And it's going to get better in subsequent editions as well. So it's a good product. It's easy to sell.
Well, Deji, this is where I will allow you to go and do other things. Thanks for joining me. And I look forward to you being part of that board, because there is money to be made, and there is a product to be sold to the corporate Nigeria.
Football is a multi-billion-dollar business. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we need to begin to see it that way in Nigeria. We shouldn't see it as an afterthought or see it as some sort of CSR. We should see it as business, and we should treat it as such. I think when we start to do it that way, we will begin to see the football industry that we want to see.
Thank you very much, Deji. Once again, Deji Adegbenro is the Communication and Projects Coordinator, La Liga Nigeria and Ghana. He is one of the aspirants to be on the board of the Nigerian Football Federation. That's it. Let's quickly go on a break, and when we return, I'll serve you the offside, and then I'll take my bye-byes.
Fantastically finished.
Welcome back. Yep. Our offside today, it's from no other than Nigeria's iconic football figure. Is when you tell mathematical. Segun Odegbami is it's a quote from an article he wrote just recently. And I'm going to quote now, and I quote him, to date, the Nigerian Football Federation does not exist in Nigerian law. The body is not registered as a private corporate body. Its change of name from association to federation is only on paper. A small screen which the NFF has been organizing as an illegitimate organization in Nigeria, collecting funds from the federal government of Nigeria illegally, removing from power the legitimate owners and stakeholders of Nigerian football from the board, and tagging the sport ministry an interfering third party. End of quote. From that, I had to lift it from a recent article by Segun Odegbami, an iconic football figure in Nigeria. That's it, the mathematical. Brilliant. Okay, don't forget you can follow on all our social media handles, Sport Exchange 24, Facebook, Twitter, and don't forget our YouTube channel is also there, TV360 Nigeria. Till I come your way next time, I'm yours truly today, tomorrow, and of the future in sports business, Jide Olaniran. Bye-bye.